Coach Hecklinski, today, Coach Mallory speaks all the time. You don't really know what's going to happen until the bullets start to fly. You guys can practice game situations, and even though today was a scrimmage, it's even somewhat hard to mimic what it's going to be like on game day. But your overall checklist of what you went through with the guys afterwards, that were your main points of emphasis that you learned today?
I thought we started fast. Obviously we didn't extend the drives. We went a certain amount of plays, but I tell you, we moved the ball. I thought we moved the ball with speed. I liked how a lot of the guys played. You don't know till you get in and see the film. I thought from a quarterback standpoint, there are things we still need to work on and things we need to correct. I thought our skilled guys, I felt a presence, and I felt a presence from our offensive line, which is good. And I think our backs are kind of what we thought they are. I think our backs are tough, and I think they'll run hard.
You mentioned the running backs. That was the position that Coach Mallory told us moments ago. He's like, obviously I know you guys will learn more when you watch film. It's kind of hard to gauge from the sideline, but just with all those guys, when you guys were kind of going really up tempo, Marlon had a lot of good runs when the defense was getting tired. The options you have, how many options do you have back there, and really what optimism that brings you and this staff?
Well, anytime you have multiple runners, it gives you a chance to run the ball in a variety of different ways, and that's what we're going to try and figure out how to do and get the ball in guys' hands. I think just my initial impression is when we get downhill and we run downhill, we're fine. And that's what we got to continue to harp and continue to go. I think offensive line-wise, when we're blocking downhill and our backs are running downhill, we got a chance to control the clock, control the tempo, and gain first downs. And really, that's what we're trying to do, is gain first downs through this.
Where's your offensive unit improved the most in these 2 weeks of fall camp?
Oh, definitely up front. Definitely up front. I think from an offensive line and tight end standpoint, I think you can really see it start to come together. And I think that without question up front, I think Darryl and Tyler both have done a great job in getting those guys ready to go and getting those guys to work as one. And that's really the whole key. You don't have to be the most talented up front, but they got to work as one. And we're starting to get to that point. It was nice to have, a couple guys back who'd been out during the week, just with little stuff, nothing major, but just stuff that we needed to, shore up and make sure they were getting healthy. So it was nice to have them back and going. And, I think up front, between the tight ends and offensive line, they've made the biggest strides for us.
Fans, of course, they look at that quarterback spot, they look at the running backs, the wide receivers, but as you mentioned, it all starts there up front.
Right.
Where do you think they have grown the most from when you first started fall camp to now? And when you go and watch that film later, you'll look and go, you know what, that is something they didn't do early on in camp.
I'll tell you what I liked. We've talked a lot about being a live team. When it's live, when it's real, not being a team that sits on your heels, but being a team that gets heavy on your hands and comes off the ball. And I thought they responded today. That's been a process, and I think this today, really came together. And I think we came off the ball, and I think that's what you see. That's what I'm talking about. If those guys play as one and come off the ball, then we're going to be just fine.
The energy, talking to Coach Wilson about it too, his biggest thing is you want to play with energy, but also control that as well. That has been an issue in Indiana State in the past, has been those costly penalties, whether they're unsportsmanlike penalties in games. You guys preach that each and every day, doing the little things right with these guys. I know that because I'm here with you guys each and every day.
Perfect.
Where do you think your group has grown the most in that, and just how you continue to relay that is like, guys, we want you to be out there with that high energy, but it's why you have situations like today with officials to be able to learn that and know that's a game killer, especially when you are in those 2-minute drill situations.
People mistake talking for playing hard. They mistake talking for being tough, and that's really what we've tried to communicate. We understand what the issues are. One of the first studies that I did when we got here was our penalty study. And we put together the penalty study of where we were, and we're the most penalized team the last 2 years. We're also the most penalized team with unsportsmanlike and taunting penalties over the last 2 years. And you can't win that way. You can't win consistently that way. And so it's been a process, and we're working towards that. We're working together towards that. It's not one person, it's not one individual, it's not one unit, it's a team thing, and it's a commitment to being a team and doing what's best for our team. It's hard to understand that I need to play with energy, but yet play to my techniques and play to my assignment and do all three of them at the same time. And we can't confuse what's real and what's not real. And probably what you're alluding to is the not real stuff that ends up costing you games at the end.
And then finally, Coach Hecklinski, it's you described it as a roller coaster ride with your quarterbacks and learning from them and being in that film room. just where have they grown the most? And as you continue to progress and get closer to Eastern Illinois, as you start to narrow that down, what you like about those guys that continue to compete and continue to show up for you every day?
Well, we're still on that roller coaster now. Let me tell you something. No, it's a comfort. You know, we ask those guys to do a lot. I mean, we really do. I mean, this isn't just to get a signal from the sideline and I just go and I lift my foot and I execute a quick throw. I mean, their communication process throughout the whole, every word means something. So every time they open their mouth, everything means something. And so, you know, understanding how all that goes and how it sequences, and like we talked about today, you know, it's like putting the pieces of a puzzle together, but you're the last corner piece that's kind of hidden, that falls off the table and is sitting underneath the chair, and you get the puzzle together, and you're kind of that last corner piece that you find, you know, we're the last one. We got to worry about the other 10 guys before we start worrying about ourselves. And we're starting to get there, but, you know, there's still a process through that.
The last week before classes start, the importance of this time you have with your guys before, you know, right now it is almost somewhat close to 24/7 football with them, where in a week that won't be the case when school starts up on Monday.
Right. We're making decisions. I mean, from now until we start back up on Monday, decisions are going to be made. And so this is a critical time for us, and we got to make sure we get it right, and that's where we're headed right now. We're headed right to the office. We're going to sit in, we're going to watch all the film, and we're going to make all the decisions that we need to make.